Alright, what's up and welcome back to another YouTube video. Alright, so for today's video, it's gonna be another fiction of fashion, and we're gonna start off with, I'm gonna be doing two different pieces in this video. I'm gonna be making another one of the scrap skirts, and then I'm also gonna be doing something with a pair of jeans. So for our first piece, with this scrap skirt, it's gonna be this red and black and kind of yellow little piece right here. I would say there's gonna be like a few little dashes of yellow or like other colors in it, but the main material is gonna be jean, black cotton. We're gonna have some red cotton thrown in there, and then just like I said, the maybe some yellow or some different colors. For that one, it's gonna be the jean base on top. So this is gonna have how we were gonna do the waistband with the first one. It's gonna be the waistband top, and then on the bottom with the ruffles, that's gonna be the cotton fabric and the different jeans and all that. This one I am also gonna have lace into it, but I'm gonna, of course, how I did like with the first one, we're gonna put it together and then see what needs to be added and what needs to be taken away from it. And so for that second one, the jeans, this is what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be doing those silk jeans. So what I'm gonna do is I have a pair of green jeans, and I mean not green, gray. And for this, I'm not gonna be doing it from scratch. I'm gonna be taking these gray jeans, and then I'll be taking a triangle little piece out of it, and then I'll be adding silk in with that. So it's gonna be like flare jeans, but I don't want it to flare too much. I don't need too much of a flare. And then I'm gonna be painting blue, light blue, and maybe some white onto it just so it can tie into the silk on the bottom. So for this video's game plan, we're gonna start off with the skirt, and basically how I did with the first video, I'm gonna cut out that top part for the skirt, which is gonna be that waistband area and that like mid little waist area, and then we're gonna work on the ruffles and our gathered pieces, add in our ruffles and our lace, and then we're gonna make our scrap fabric flowers, and then go through and put our beading and all that, finishing at the end. With this one, I do want to work on, like I said, with this one, I do want to work on, like I said with the other video, our main goal with this one is making the panels longer so that all those seams could be met at one spot, and then just it all looking good and cohesive in the end. And then our game plan for the jeans is, I have the gray jeans already, and what I'm gonna be doing is, like I already said, I had drew it out right here. We're gonna be taking the jeans, I'm gonna go up the seam of it, cut out a little triangle out of it, take that out, replace it with the silk, sew that around it, flip it back inside out, and then it should look like how this is looking. And then we'll just add the paint and then all that at the end. I wanna do more like, I would say like more Japanese art type is what I really like to add to my pieces. So like the clouds and the flowers and the little nature pieces here and there. So with all that talking, let's get started. All right, y'all got to work with me because I got this light in my hand. But basically what I'm gonna be doing is, I'm gonna see how long I want the skirt to be like on the top piece with the waistband. Then I'm gonna figure that out, and that's what I'm gonna be cutting right now. After I finish that and cut that out, we're gonna be making the ruffles and the gather so that I can add that at the bottom. So basically I'm about to cut out the top part of that skirt right now, and then we're gonna jump into making all the rest of the part of the skirt. So let's get into this video. So I'm about to use my seam ripper to rip these off the back, or some scissors real quick, so that's what I'm gonna do right now. Alright, so like I said in the clip before, right now I'm just cutting off the pocket in the back. Alright, so in these next few clips, you're just gonna see me cutting out the fabric for that top part of that skirt. So now I'm just cutting that top part where those jeans are gonna be at. Alright, so right now my waist is at a 41 and I had to get that down to a 28. So I'm gonna just take that away and then cut that off of here. And right now I'm just figuring out that match so I can take off that little extra off the waistband like I just said. And basically I'm trying to figure out how to do it so I can still keep the little Levi sign. And I now have those pieces measured out and cut, so now I'm just gonna sew those two sides together so I can make this one whole skirt again. And the pleat part of the skirt real quick. So I'm gonna use this old little test shirt for one of my old little test designs that I had. I'm gonna cut this up and use this as pleats for one of the like rows of the skirts, probably like one or two. I think I can get out of that. Then I also have these panels, and then the red I'm gonna cut up and do. Basically, this is one of the pleats I have. I'm gonna do that. I gotta remember the whole goal for this one is to make them all the same size so that they can fall at the same. And this is what the skirt looks like right now. And I just gotta add them. I'm still deciding. I think I low-key want to keep the pockets out, but I'm gonna see if I want to have them out or have them. Let me see. Basically, kind of something like that. I might leave them out. But let's see, I'm making panels right now.
All right, so right now I'm just going through and cutting out a bunch of fabric strips. I cut some out of the black cotton, some out the red. I cut me some out the jean. And basically I'm just cutting out sizes about that big so that I can ruffle them or pleat them. And like I said in my video before, these are all out of the scrap box that I have in my room, the 3. So like these are just a pair of joggers, the bottom half, and I just cut off the little scrunchy part and created a little section for that. All right, so now I put out the lace because I do want to do some layers of lace and also put some in the flowers. So I'm just going to cut out some of that right now.
All right, this is where we're at right now. I made some of the panels. This is kind of what's gonna look like. I start to do like the pleats and stuff with them. But right now I'm gonna lay it out on the skirt and see how much more I need basically.
Alright, so right now I'm just trying to map out where the waist part of that skirt's gonna fall. So this is just me laying that over it. And then I'm cutting off all the extra part on the bottom half of that skirt with those ruffles and the pleats. And now I'm pinning it together so I can sew in this bottom half and see how it's looking so far and see what else I need to do.
So this is where we're at right now. This is what the skirt's gonna look like. Basically, this is how I have it drafted out. I still have to do the pleats with like the red one and the black ones, and then we're still gonna add some of the flowers onto it. So right now I'm gonna take it off and then do the pleats, add the hem, and then we're gonna add it back onto the skirt.
All right, now you can see me gathering some of those pieces so that I can add that to that bottom piece of the skirt. All right, now I'm just ironing those pleats so I can make sure my pleats come out crisp. And now I'm just continuing to cut out little extra pieces and parts. I do have a little surprise for y'all towards the end. That's what I'm gonna use this lace for. All right, so now I'm gonna start putting that bottom half of that skirt together. Basically what I did is I took each one of the little rows and strips that I made of the ruffled and gathered pieces, and I sewed them all together on like a baseline on the top. And then I took that and I sewed that under that bottom line where the jean was, and you guys will see in a little bit. And that's just how I pieced together that skirt. So like I'm about to show you here, I just sewed that bottom fabric to that jean material. And then basically I'm just gonna layer each panel or each section I had cut out and put it on top of this one or underneath this one and just sew it along that baseline. Gathers for one of the little sections and it broke my needle. I gotta see if I have any extra. If not, then I gotta wait so I can go to the store.
All right, so I already ordered the needle off of Amazon since that broke, so that's coming in tomorrow. But right now while I wait for that, I'm gonna cut the slit into this so that I can add the blue silk into it, and I'm gonna just do the slit and basically all the measurements and stuff right now.
All right, so right now I'm just going through and cutting out all that blue silk. I needed some circle pieces, some squares, and some hearts so that I can add that to the bottom, and then those triangle pieces for that slit down the slide. for that slit down the side. Sorry, my words got caught up. Alright, so in this clip, you can see me just figuring out the placement of those patches that I just cut out. And now I'm just going through and cutting those slits on both sides. I ended up measuring them so I can make sure that they were the same size. And then this is me at work tweaking some of those designs because I did end up accidentally putting both the slits on the same side like I said in the beginning. So this is me just tweaking that design and redoing it based off of the new work. And this was just me measuring off the other side like I said I did, marking it and then cutting it up. Alright, so the package came in so I could finish with the skirt and then start with those jeans. Alright, and I didn't know too much about the actual sewing machine noodles before this, but this helped me learn about the different sizes and thicknesses. But I do know that I had to get me a jean one for this now. Alright, now that I got everything back, I'm just going back to that skirt and finishing adding those panels on there. Alright, so it's been a while since the last time I was here, but I did decide to do a little surprise skirt for y'all. So I did do a little bit of recording for this. I have some posted on my shorts and then my TikTok and Instagram, so you can go watch that there. But this is the little surprise skirt I have made. Basically, I wanted it to be like a sister cousin skirt to the other one. But what I'm making this little clip for is I'm about to add these beads to the middle to finish this off, basically. So this is the skirt. This is what it looks like right now. This is already sewed down, and then all the little flowers are sewed down. Right now, what I need to decide is how I want to attach this piece on. There's this little long piece I had put together. I just put a bunch of those beads onto a string. So one option is like this, loop it through, and then sew it. Sew these after looping it through the back. Here's option one. So that'd be beads basically on both sides. And then this is what that side piece looks like. Or, that's option one. That's what this one will look like. Or, since it's this long, just take it. So I can see basically which style I want to put these in. Alright, so right now I'm just finishing up adding some of the little, I will call them like leaves to the back of the, I'm doing like a leaf stitch on the back of this skirt, so that's just what I'm adding right now. Alright, so right now I'm about to just sew this part down to the skirt, so I don't have to worry about it like flinging off or popping. Now, what I'm about to do is sew the blue patches onto these pants. And then after that, we're gonna sew the little slits. But right now, we'll focus on the patches, so let's do that. My needle broke again, so now I gotta switch it up, but that's what I'm doing right now. Alright, so right now all I'm doing is basically making up like a little pattern for the triangle. So what I did is I laid it out how I want the slits to be open, and then just put this under it and then traced out how the triangle is put on. Like, not put on. I'm tracing this out onto the paper. And then right now what I'm gonna do is just cut that pattern out, and then we're gonna cut that out of the blue silk and put that onto here. All right, so as you just seen in that kind of split screen, and as I was explaining, I had already cut it out, so now this is just me pinning it to the jeans. I just pinned each side on, sewed it up, and then pinned the other side, and then sewed it up, and that's how I attached these little slits. All right, so this is where we're at right now with those pants. I finally finished sewing all the stuff on. So this is the little hearts and stuff I put on this leg, the little shapes I put on this leg, and they both have a slit on the same side. So what I'm about to do right now is that little design right there. I'm gonna paint it on, and this is what we're doing. So right now I'm about to just try to paint this design onto those pants. All right, so this is what the pants ended up looking like. They turned out pretty much how I wanted them to look based off of the sketch. This is what one of those skirts, that surprise skirt I made, turned out looking like. That belt. Dress. Sorry, those beads were on top of it. But this is the other skirt. And then basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make another video where I'm doing a try-on video, and you'll see all the outfits on, all the pieces on somebody. But this is what's in and off of. And then this is based off of the sketch. So I think for the pants, I did pretty much follow it. I had to switch it up after I added the patches, because this is the original sketch that I had put. And then when I had accidentally put both the silk on one side, then I had to switch it up. And then this is what those skirts came out looking like. So they came out looking like exactly how I wanted it to. And then the other one I didn't draw up because it was a little surprise one.